Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you are having a great and excellent day so far. My name is Ryank, and this is Sportsology. If you are new to this, real quick, what Sportsology is, it is an opportunity for me to come on here and give a little bit of advice about business technology and then a little advice about daily fantasy sports. All day long, I do technology advising for a company called Enterprise Systems Group out of Little Chute, Wisconsin. We cover the whole Wisconsin area and Upper Michigan for the kind of our main areas of focus. Then at nighttime, I run like some private email lists and I give advice to people on how to set your DraftKings lineups. Obviously, this time of the year, we're going to talk about a little baseball. So I like to come on here, just give my opinions. Hopefully, I can give some advice to people that helps them out a little bit. And if you got any questions, please, I always encourage people to reach out. I put my email address down there in the description section. If you got questions on either of them, I'm always here to help. Additionally, anybody who's willing to help me by sharing this video, liking it, retweeting it, subscribing to this channel, any and all those things, sincerely appreciated for anybody willing to do that. Today, we are going to start with technology again. And I want to talk about something. I brought this up a week or two ago, but I do want to talk about digital signage today and just kind of go through it a little bit. And instead of talking about how it works, I want to talk to you about some of the benefits that I think it can bring to your organization. Now, this is going to vary from organization to organization. Is it perfect for everybody? No, it's not going to be for everybody, but there are some circumstances or instances where I feel it could play out very well for people. And what I want to talk about is yesterday, I had a meeting with a company that owns a lot of convenience stores throughout the Wisconsin area. And I had talked to them about putting digital displays within their organization, within each store, right when you walk in. Now, I'm talking about convenience stores, gas stations, things like that. And what I want to talk about is the psychology behind getting people to go back to them. Now, as a guy, a lot of times we don't think about stuff like this. I think men, we think a little bit differently, and we typically are just going to go to the convenience store, whatever's closest for us, whatever can get us back on the highway as fast as possible. That's usually what we're going to look at. But I try to think of it the way my wife might approach it, and that is she's going to go to the convenience store which she thinks is the cleanest, the nicest, the one that she feels the safest at. And you think about it, if you're getting off a highway and on your right is a quick trip, which you know is going to have decent food, it's going to be relatively clean, it's going to look like probably all the other quick trips you've ever stopped at. Now, on the other side of the road, you see one of those old rundown gas stations, and you're probably not going to stop there. You probably even drive an extra couple hundred yards just to go to that one. Putting in a digital display right when you walk in will create kind of a lasting impression in people's minds of the kind of place that it is. It's just, you walk in, you see something nice like that right away, and just in the back of your mind, without even really consciously trying to think of it, you automatically think this is a nicer, cleaner, safer place. That's something you can do for a relatively cheap price because digital signage is not very expensive, but you can portray that image, give that feeling of this is a safer, cleaner place so people want to frequent, return, and come back to your stores versus when they walk in and it looks old and it's run down and there's paper towels all over the bathroom. Automatically, they will probably just think about going to the other place. Now, that's convenience stores. That's not necessarily going to be applicable to all types of business, but you can kind of translate in your mind of what the impression is that you want to portray to somebody about your business. And digital signage to me is a very low cost way of just kind of upping the snaz factor, just making it look a little bit nicer from the outside at least. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I do like digital displays because like I said, it's not a very expensive technology, and it is something that can just increase the overall appearance of your business. Okay, now we have reviewed technology. If you have any questions on digital signage, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about them in any shape, way, or form. Let's talk about looking at your DFS lineups tonight. So I've kind of switched up the way I've been doing things lately, and I'm going to review with you my first impressions lineup for tonight. And if you get anything out of this, I want you to take away kind of my main point of what you should start your lineup with tonight. And as usual, we start with pitching. You see Clayton Kershaw up there. He's at home tonight against a New York Mets team that some of their hitters, Granderson, Conforto, for example, are lefties, and they do tend to hit right-handers just a little bit better because of that. So automatically, you got a lefty on there. You got an elite lefty and a guy who's really his first couple starts, they were on and off. His first one of the year was good. Then he had a couple in the 20s. Then he had a huge performance. And last time out against Toronto, he struck out 10 plus in 5 straight now. So I think he's just kind of in a cash game. You got to go Kershaw right away. Too good of an opportunity. He throws up 35-40, and your guy doesn't do that, and you're automatically way behind there. I'd rather cheap out on some hitters tonight and make sure I get Kershaw in my lineup. Now, the problem that you come up with from there is the only really obvious offensive plays tonight are going to be loading up on the Baltimore Orioles, which are one of the best offenses in the game, kind of on fire right now, versus the by far the weakest pitcher out there tonight, and that's Mike Pelfrey. And when I talk weak, just look at his last 4 appearances, for example. He hasn't made it through more than 6.2 innings, and he has given up 3-5-5-5, including 3 home runs last game. He doesn't strike out many people. He's the weakest pitcher out there tonight. So obviously you're going to want to look at your Machados, your Adam Jones, who's caught fire, your Mark Trumbo, who seems to hit a home run every at bat. Chris Davis has something like 5 or 6 hits over the last 2 games. So you really want to get into these guys. So I'm going to review my lineup. But the main things I want to note to you are Clayton Kershaw and Baltimore Orioles hitters. That's how you have to start your lineup today for cash. That's the way that people are going to go. Those are the obvious picks. So I got Kershaw in there. And then I really wanted to look at Jimmy Nelson of our Milwaukee Brewers, knowing that San Diego played a doubleheader yesterday. They got to travel. Not that Chicago to Milwaukee's much of a travel, but they're probably going to be a little bit out of it. And they're a weak offense to begin with. The problem was with all those Orioles players and Kershaw, I'm very, very limited on cap space at this point. So I managed to toss Bartolo Colon in there. Now, conventional wisdom tells you not to play pitchers from the same team. But one of the most overrated things people seem to look for on DraftKings is they look to get that win from their pitcher, which is only good for 4 points. Now, if you double up pitchers in a matchup, you're almost increasing your odds of getting at least 1 win out of that game. You're not going to get 2, but at the same time, if that game turns into a pitcher's duel, that could actually benefit you. So I'm not overly sold saying you need to play Cologne. I would rather go Jimmy Nelson, or I'd rather go Zach Greinke, or I'd rather go Ian Kennedy, but I really need to save every dollar possible because I want to get as many Baltimore Oriole players in there. So for right now, Bartolo Colon, but if you can find a way to get some real cheap players in there, then you might want to upgrade to Ian Kennedy or Jimmy Nelson. Okay, so in the catching spot, I got Cameron Rupp. That's likely to change. If I can find a 2K catcher, a minimum price catcher on the day, I'd like to punt that category. But that's what I'm looking at for right now. I move over to first base, and I really want Chris Davis in my lineup tonight. 7 for his last 10 with a home run, 2 doubles. He's seeing it well. I mean, I really, really want to get him versus Pelfrey in my lineup tonight at Baltimore, so it's going to be in the hitter's ballpark, and I got Chris Davis in there. Move along to second base. I got the guy who's burned me back and forth religiously lately. If I play him, he does nothing. If I don't play him, he homers. That's Hernan Perez of the Milwaukee Brewers. He's only 2,200, so that's one of those picks that'll allow me to load up on Orioles hitters and get Kershaw in my lineup. Meanwhile, moving over to third base, I'm looking at Chelsea Cuthbert of the Kansas City Royals. Batting 286 this year, hasn't been up with the team for very long, but he's hitting every game. He hit his first homer the other game, 2,600. That's another cheap option to really load up onto your team. Manny Machado when it's short. I don't think I have to give you any explanation to why I want Machado. Adam Jones really heated up, so I have him in my outfield. He is really heated up this week, so that's somebody who I really want in my lineup, as well as his teammate Mark Trumbo, who is absolutely crushing it lately. I also want him in my lineup. So then, to fit those guys, I put in Alex Presley of the Milwaukee Brewers. I like him better towards the top of the lineup, but either way, he's hitting pretty well against James Shields, who just hasn't been that great this year. He hasn't been big game James at all. So that's what I'm looking at for right now. The most important thing to get out of that is Kershaw and Baltimore Orioles guys, and then kind of getting some of your cheap players, some of your punt plays in there as well. Going to have to wait on some of those to see when the starting lineups come out, though. So that's what I got for today, guys. Have a wonderful day and talk to you soon.